Got it. Um, how are we? Am I live? Am I just Jesus Christ. Am I just sitting here? Who's waiting? Who's waiting to come into my life? Guys, sorry, but bear with. Oh, goodness me. Who's this? Who's waiting? I see you. I have no idea. I can't work out what the name of the account is. Guys, look, this is what you get for going live before you've even figured out who's with you. Is this Kaz? This is not how I intended on starting this live, guys. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Cool. Um, okay. Can you write in the chat who you are? Who is this? Hey. Sorry, guys. This is a bit of a surprise. Anyway, usually I do the lives by myself, but we have been joined by someone else. I have a feeling this is Kaz. I have a feeling. Is this you?
Oh,
Is this Kaz?
yeah, I can hear you.
Hi. Okay, guys,
I
live.
can't let me
Hi.
find.
This is what happens when you're live, right? Things go
Oh, oh,
very confusing. Hi,
right.
Kaz. Nice of you to join us. I wasn't doing this as a join along live. I was doing this in like Zoom. I was doing this as a join along in the Facebook group, but you joined us now. So
Oh, sorry.
don't be sorry, guys, if everyone's watching, or whoever's watching. I don't even know if we can see you. I haven't seen the screen. Let me just quickly double check. So this is Kaz, and in a couple of weeks, no, next week, I'm actually going to be doing a live interview with Kaz because she is freaking amazing. This is the first
Oh, no.
um but yeah, I was actually I thought um when you said to me today, do you have a Zoom link? I thought you
Yeah.
meant for our chat next week.
Oh, right. Sorry. You know what I'm like? I'm like a dinosaur with these things. I'm absolutely useless. But anyway,
Honestly,
it's a good learning curve because now I know how to get on it and everything. So,
absolutely. We don't need to get on early next week.
do you want me to turn it off?
No, not at all. You can stay here, but I won't be looking at the
Okay.
camera. I will pop you on mute, but thank you so much for joining me anyway. Guys, this is what you get, right? If you speak to me a little bit more often, you get to join these chats and then you get a free coaching call afterwards anyway, basically. All right, Kaz, I'm gonna put you on mute, you lovely human being. Apologies, I feel terrible doing that. But guys, if you are watching live, sorry about the 5-minute introduction there where technology has completely baffled me. Um, there we go. That's what you get. Today is going to be a beast of a talk. So I am going to talk at you all. Um, I know Kaz is here as well, joining us live. That's fantastic. But I'm going to practically not stop talking because I have so much planned and I have a client call within an hour, and I don't want this to be a massive long rant, a massive long speech, but I have got so much information that I want to give you guys. So let's just friggin' start. Let's friggin' start. Guys, I want you to grab a notepad and pen. I want you to ignore the fact that I've been banished to my bedroom for this. Unfortunately, I do have like an office space kind of area in my living room, but if you are new here, unfortunately, I'm having to film from my bedroom, but you know what? We battle the problems when they come up. Just gonna have to deal with it. And I also do have my hoodie on my lap because it's freezing cold in here. And I also have my little mascot here, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. But anyway, guys, grab a pen and paper because this is gonna be a big one. So if you're watching on replay, as always, I would love you to write in the box replay. If you're watching live on Facebook, come and say hi. Drop your name in there. I'd love to see if anyone else is watching. So what are we going to do today? We are going to go through what protein is so you can truly understand why and how it is necessary, right? I don't want you to be walking around anymore with misinformation that has been spread from marketing, from just anything that you picked up. I want to give you the basic knowledge so you understand exactly why. As soon as you understand why and how it is necessary for us, you will then be able to understand and really apply that information in your day-to-day life. Okay, so I'm going to also talk through where our hyper awareness around protein has come from, so you'll no longer be fooled by society and marketing. I'm going to cover a huge hack for worrying less about protein. It's going to save you so much time, energy, brain capacity, because we're all absolutely up to here with everything. So you can focus on your life instead of your health, and so you can let me take care of your health for you. We're going to cover where plant-based eaters get protein from. Again, just to help you sift through the marketing BS that's out there, deceiving signs and labels that don't tell you the entire truth. I'm going to answer if you can get enough protein from a plant-based diet. Spoiler alert, I haven't died yet. And in case you weren't convinced, I'm then going to give you my best tips. And when I say best tips, I'm not just saying that for content, I'm not just saying that to get you watching. I am meaning my best top tips, right? There's going to be about 15 of them. So get pen and paper ready. And that's going to be on how to boost your protein intake, right? If you're not sold by then that you're going to get enough, then I'm going to give you even more tips, right? And this is from someone who lifts heavy at the gym and intends on building more muscle mass, okay? And again, hasn't died yet from protein deficiency yet. Okay, so buckle up, my friends. You are about to become the expert. Pen and paper. Let's dive in. Kaz, are you ready? Good, good. She's ready. I love the fact that we've got our cross communications and you've just joined us for our live. I think it's fantastic. I can't hear you, you're on mute, but I know that you're here and I know that you're here in spirit. Right, okay, guys. So first thing is first, what is protein, right? What the frick is protein? Is it just meat? Right? What is it? So protein is a macronutrient, which basically means our bodies need it in large quantities. And I'm not going to get very scientific with you, one, because I can't remember all the scientific terminologies. I just know what's good and what's bad. But secondly, I'm not going to bore you with all the science, right? Not everyone is a nutrition nerd like me. We are just going to cover the basics. So in case you're wondering and in case you're worrying and thinking, oh my God, this is going to be so much information, it's not going to be an overload, okay? So it's used for building and maintaining and repairing muscle tissue, bone, hair, and nails. Okay, so it's really essential in anything that recovery. Bite your nails, protein grows back, right? So it's essential for making those essential hormones and enzymes and aiding immune functions. Okay, again, think repairing immunity. Primarily, protein's main functions are for muscle maintenance and repair post-exercise, but again, it does include repair and immunity in other areas of your body. Protein is essential, okay? But no more or no less essential than carbohydrates, than fats, than water, than vitamins, minerals, exercise, and sleep. Okay, so it's not this thing that we put on this pedestal that we are going to die if we don't get enough of it, like in one day. Okay, so you can rest easy. So where does this hyper awareness around protein come from? And again, this is extremely important for you to understand. And the reason why people don't talk about it is because it's highly controversial. And also people just don't give this the time of day. Okay. And I want you to in understanding and applying this information, this is really important for you to know. You can lend a huge fat thank you to marketing and advertisements for this hyper awareness of protein. So just like any other fad diet out there, if there's money in it, someone will exploit it, right? Like the tobacco, the alcohol, the pharmaceutical, the dairy, the egg, the fish companies, as a prime example. Through clever marketing and advertisement techniques in the early 1930s, with help of televisions, health and fitness awareness roles, health and fitness awareness, sorry, A lot of that and a lot of overproduction, excess production of animal-based products from farming has all kind of created this hyper awareness. Okay, so the televisions and health and fitness kind of magazines and stuff, all of that's boomed at the same time as animal products had just kind of started exploding in the farming industry. Bit of a coincidence, right? So after a short time, health and fitness really worked synonymously with meat, dairy, and egg consumption because there was this big boom at the same time. Before we then realized it, these norms had been created, such as like meat and two veg combination or meat is for men myth. Um, Also, I want you to realize that additionally, at the same time of this big boom of the farming and agriculture, excess milk was then being extracted from these cows, taken from these cows, so that they then created cheese and whey products. Now, think of whey products as your typical protein powder, right? Where did protein powder come from? Oh, we're this excess and this boom in farming. So now we've got all of this shit. What are we going to do with it? Oh, let's just dehydrate it and give it to people and tell people that they need it, right? Any which way that you can make more money from something, they were trying to do. So that's where all of these protein powders and whey products come from. Not to mention animal parts and ends were being wasted as well. So they then decided to mash that up too. And you'll know that as meatballs, burgers, sausages, nuggets, spam, right? Gross. But how do we profit off of every single part of this? I mean, from a waste perspective, that's good, but I don't want the animal to die in the first instance, right? So marketing such as eat more, men need to eat meat, are all to blame for this obsession that we have with getting enough protein. It was forced and forced and forced, again, with the uprise of television and fitness influence, magazines, stuff like that, all at the same time. It just spread like wildfire. And now from there, we have been fed all of this information every step of the way, right? So another myth that I want to bust is about amino acids. And again, I'm not going to go into it too deep, but this is just something that is really good to know. I'll keep this short and simple. Our bodies require 20 amino acids to utilize protein. 11 of those our bodies create ourselves. So 9 have to be sourced from our diet, i.e. plants. All plants contain a varying amount of each amino acid, which means consuming a variety of plants is going to make up for those 9 essential acids. We don't actually need protein, right? So there's this myth that we need animal protein. Sorry, we don't need animal protein. It's a myth that we don't need animal protein. We can actually get all of these from plants. An ironic but true slap in the face that I got while doing my research on plant-based eating was that animals eat plants and we eat the animals. So we're eating the middleman, right? And the middleman, unfortunately, can contain cancer, antibiotics. It can create antibiotic resistance in human beings, and then other gross stuff like pus and stuff. But I'm not going to go into all of that. That's unnecessary right now, right? There is no nutritional requirement to consume protein from animals or animal-based foods such as meat, milk, eggs, etc., or a need to get it from supplements because the amino acids that form proteins are actually found in the plant sources to begin with. Knowing all this is one thing, right? Changing your belief system, mindset, and identity is a completely separate thing. So although you know this information, it might not just click and just you wake up tomorrow and then suddenly it's all there and you don't crave meat anymore, right? This information is great, but we now need to start shifting and changing the mindset, the identity, your habits, just your usual go-tos, right? So as long as you know the facts, you can start to unlearn all of these old beliefs, all of this mindset shift. And right now, if you're new to plant-based living, right, and you're watching this might be like, whoa, holy shit, I need to start from the beginning, right? The last 10 minutes, this only 10 minutes has blown my mind. And I totally understand that if that's you, because everything that you have learned up till now might just be completely different to the last 5 minutes of what you know, okay? And that's why these documentaries like Game Changers, the one that's just come out, right, the twin study, this is changing people's lives and really shifting with people's internal beliefs, identity, understanding. You know, like, have you ever learned a fact that you had, like, have you ever learned something when you're an adult and you're like, whoa, I always thought it was this. Imagine that, but your entire diet, everything that has been pushed through you in TV, news, adverts, everything, like, imagine that, but 10 times more. And that is where this shift can be really difficult to refocus for some. For some of you, if you're already here, that shift has probably already started to happen. Anyway, if you're someone who already knows that they probably struggle getting enough protein on a daily basis, I do have something for you. You're going to save a bucket ton of time, a shit ton of energy with my no faff 28-day meal plan. Kaz is on the video call here, and I know she's already got it, and she is absolutely smashing it, right? There's well-balanced meals, high protein meals. Again, we're talking about protein today. I worked out that there's an average of 92 grams of protein in each day on my 28-day meal plan. That is why it freaking works for weight loss. I'll tell you why in a minute. But these are really delicious. Even my omnivore partner, he agrees they're fantastic. Anyway, 28 pounds or 35 US dollars. Even includes a done for you shopping list for every week. On top of this, for a limited time only, you'll get the 6 additional bonuses. I don't want to go through it too much. It's totally up to you. But the additional bonuses are valued at £49.94. The 28-day meal plan alone is £39.99. That's a total of £89.93. And still, I'm still doing it for just £28. So this time is limited. I promise you, I'm not going to be at £28 for long. If you're interested, comment plan and I'll send you the link. Right. Okay. That's over and done with. Of course, I have to plug my own products, right? I'm doing this for free, guys, right? Just, of course, I'm going to have to do it. But if you want the high protein and you want to take the stress out, honestly, that 28-day meal plan. Hey, Kaz, this is your time to shine. I have not paid Kaz. We have not had a previous conversation. I didn't even know she was coming on here. What's your opinion on the 28-day meal plan? Sorry, you're going to have to unmute yourself. I'm going on a whim here, hoping that it's going to be a complimentary thing, but we'll see. Come on, I'm requesting you unmute.
Yeah,
there we go.
I've managed it. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I've done quite a lot of batch cooking for the freezer and everything to make it easy, but the recipes are really easy to follow, and anyone can make the recipes. You don't have to be a chef or anything like that, but they're really tasty. And we came here on holiday, and we brought the little boxes with us to cook.
Amazing.
So I could keep on it really, but like today, I think it's going to be a bit of a day off. But going back home tomorrow, so I'll get back on it again. But yeah, it's fantastic.
Fabulous. And just FYI, I didn't pay you to say that.
No, I know you didn't pay me to do it. No, I've been doing this for 3 months now, since September, when I first got the 7-day plan, and I kept doing that over and over again, and then I got the 28-day one. So I've got 2 lots of 28-day plans. So I've got plenty of recipes now and days to get on with it. So yeah, I'm loving it. And before I was frightened of having protein, because I thought, oh, it's more calories and and all the myths of that. But you showed me the way, really, especially like with my oatmeal and things like that, putting the chia seeds in it and the flax seeds and a spoonful of peanut butter and all that, and I absolutely love it.
All adds up, all adds up. So yeah, guys,
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even know this wonderful lady was coming on this Zoom call. That was a surprise. You all saw that happening live. This is a total surprise, and this is honestly the first time we've actually met face to face. And this lady's not even a client of mine, right? Not even a client. She's been in the Facebook group for like how long? A year, 2 years?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Amazing. We're gonna talk everything about you and your weight loss journey that has happened from this group for free, with no one-to-one coaching whatsoever. We're going to talk about you next week. But anyway, I wanted to see what your opinion of the 28-day meal plan. And I'm really glad there was a positive review, because I would have really thrown myself under the bus there.
Yeah.
Right, excellent. Right, let's carry on because I've got so much to go through. Right,
Okay. Shall I
so
mute? I've got to mute myself now.
let's do it just in case. Just in
Yeah.
case.
Are you
I'm so sorry. I totally cut you off there.
right? I'm fine.
Okay, I'll pop you on mute just in case. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so guys, where do plant-based eaters, where can you get your protein from? Unfortunately, we have been brought up to believe that the best and sometimes only sources of protein are from meat, dairy, seafood, and eggs. But science has shown over and over and over again that plant-based proteins are they're more easily metabolized and utilized by the body than animal-based proteins. Okay, so not to mention animal protein also carries the carcinogens, higher level of saturated fats, higher levels of higher calories, cholesterol, hormones, as I mentioned, antibiotics, which creates an antibiotic resistance within human beings, right? I used to eat a lot of steak. I used to eat a lot of meat when I was younger. I am ashamed to say it, but hey ho, I'm not here to lie. And I have had, and I mentioned this a lot because I'm just an open book, but I'm susceptible to abscesses. So something to do with the lymphatic drainage in my armpit. I get a lot of abscesses. Anyway, I think from my previous life, as I say, created an antibiotic resistance. So then the doctors put me on a strong antibiotics and it wasn't strong enough to get rid of them. So it can happen, right? This antibiotic resistance. And it can just be an unsustainable source of protein for the environment, right? And not to mention cruel. So let's learn about where we can get protein from. Now, in fact, you'll be pleased to know almost all whole plant-based foods contain some protein. That means collectively, you're going to get enough throughout the day, most likely. So it means that beans, legumes, grains, nuts, seeds, even vegetables have protein. Okay, it's not just all animal based. Let's unlearn that BS myth. So here's a list of plant-based foods and their protein content according to nutritionalvalue.org, which is a website that I like to use just to track things and find out little facts. So per 100 grams, so let's think that you're eating 100 grams of the following, and this is how much protein you're going to get. Oats, 13 grams, the equivalent to an egg. Brown lentils, 27 grams. Beef offers 19 grams. And the cholesterol and the saturated fat and the antibiotic resistance, the additional hormones, the death, right? Brown lentils, 27 grams. Beef, 19 grams per 100 grams. Just blowing your mind with that one. Red lentils, 24 grams. Chicken comes out at 17 grams. There's another mind blower for you. Tempeh is 20 grams. Quinoa, 14 grams. That's a grain, for God's sake. Buckwheat, 13 grams. Edamame soybeans is 10 grams. Canned black beans at 8.9 grams. Tofu and chickpeas, 8.2 grams. Brown rice is 7.5 grams. That's another grain. Soy milk is 6.3 grams per cup. Peas, 5.4 grams. Spinach and broccoli, 2.9 grams per 100 grams. So there's literally protein in that. Peanut butter is 23 grams. I wouldn't recommend eating 100 grams of peanut butter at once if you are for weight loss. Tomatoes have 0.9 grams of protein, for God's sake, right? There's protein in everything. So can I get enough protein from a plant-based diet? Simply put, hell yeah. Absolutely. And you don't need to worry about it. So you can breathe. However, I do want to just caveat here very short, quick one. Most people do struggle to meet the recommended daily intake because they just remove meat, right? So when we get people who go from an omnivore diet and they go over to herbivore diet, they cut out meat, maybe they go over to vegan, they often just remove the meat. So let's say, for example, they were having a beef casserole. Why not? That was a random thing. Let's go stir fry, right? Beef stir fry. Let's go vegan. To go vegan, I'm going to take out the beef. So now they've got the plants, which is fantastic, and the rice. We know that they both have protein, but we're still not quite swapping it with the same amount of protein that we would have had or calories in that dish. So this is where people and things go wrong. We're not having high protein foods. We're probably not getting variety. And this is where we turns into a bit of a deficiency. Now, signs of protein deficiency include like puffy or swollen skin. It includes a fatty liver, skin, hair, nail problems. Remember, I said that's what protein helps with. A loss of muscle mass, an increased risk of bone fractures, increased in severity of infections. Don't forget your body needs protein to repair itself and recover. And also an increased desire for snacking and binging and cravings, right? So if you feel like you're constantly snacking, I guarantee you lack the higher protein. And there's so many things that we can do and swap and change just so you have that increase of protein. So often people can, if they're not focusing on the protein and they're just having vegetables and grains or chips or fast food, we might lack in protein. Often we do lack in protein. So we just need to be a little bit more mindful about the foods that we're putting in our body, right? About the fuel that we're giving our body. So the truth is that we don't actually need as much protein as we believe we can, right? We don't need to believe that hype. We don't need to be suddenly eating protein bars and protein shakes and buying into that label culture, right? Just a quick side note here, completely non-scripted, completely off my notes, and I'm probably going to go wacky on this one. But I had a protein bar and it said like source of protein 9 grams. If I was to make my own one of those with just some like oats, maybe a little bit of maple syrup, some fruit, some nuts in there, I think I worked it out, don't quote me on this, I could have doubled the amount of protein and half the amount of sugar, right? So be careful, be mindful when you see labels that says fat-free, sugar-free. If it's fat-free, it's probably high in sugar. If it says sugar-free, it's probably high in fat. If it says it's high protein, they're probably just stating that it's got protein in it. Right? That I don't think, and again, correct me on this, that there is a definition of high. Like, I don't think that there is a minimum amount of grams of protein required in something for them to say high protein. So just be really mindful about though getting suckered into that marketing. Okay, so remember the whole protein myth? Well, the consensus among nutrition experts, dietitians, and sports scientists state that it is advised for both men and women that about 0.8 grams per kilo of body weight, I'll repeat that again, 0.8 grams of protein per kilo of body weight for someone who actually does a modest amount of exercise is suffice. So for me, I'm exercising for 1.5 to 2 hours a day at the gym. And then I'm walking on my treadmill at my desk most of the day. So at least 3 hours worth of walking and then at least 2 hours. I'm going to aim for about 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilo of body weight. Otherwise, someone who does less exercise probably needs around 0.4 to 0.7 grams, okay, of protein per kilo of body weight. Let's say a woman who weighs 70 kg does a modest amount of exercise, maybe let's say an hour a few times a week. Roughly, she would need about 56 grams of protein, which is a lot less than we thought we need. A lot less. Dr. Greger, my idol, Dr. Greger states that most people, including both meat and plant-based eaters, get on average 70% more protein than they actually need, except for about 3% of the population, who are generally malnourished anyway, right? They're probably eating junk food, fast food, or underweight. Yet 97% of the population don't reach their fiber recommended daily intake, RDI, recommended daily intake. 97% don't reach their fiber intake. So next time someone asks you, because you're vegan or plant-based, where do you get your protein from? You can tell them everything that I've told you today, but you can also say, where the hell do you get your fiber from? That is important. Your body needs fiber. It needs it to detox. It needs it for regular bowel movements. right? We need it for essential vitamins, minerals. We need fiber. Our bodies need fiber. Not any of that artificial crap from rubbish cereals that are loaded with sugar. Genuine fiber in whole, healthy foods. So incorporating 3+ servings of plant-based proteins at each meal will help you meet your daily protein needs. Now, again, we're looking for vegetables, nuts and seeds, legumes, beans, grains. So pretty much 3 servings at every meal of whole food plant-based foods, right? Okay, so how to boost. I know you're all looking forward to this. This is the juicy one. This is the last thing that we're going to talk about. How to boost your protein intake, okay? From someone who lifts every single day, lifts heavy. I say lifts heavy. Depends. When I look at like some people at the gym, I'm like, I wish I could lift that heavy, but I'm getting there. Okay, so how do I sneak in a high amount of protein? So with my meals, and my partner would probably run in here and say, absolutely. I am very mindful about having a high protein diet. Not high protein to the extent that I'm trying to get like 2 grams per kilo of body weight, but I just want to make sure that I am hitting my target of 0.8 grams per kilo of body weight. And I easily hit that. Now, again, I just wanted to point out while I'm thinking of it, my 28-day meal plan averages 92 grams. So that's probably more or about the amount of protein that anyone here needs, okay? And that, the 28-day meal plan, is literally based around what I eat, okay? It's the foods that I eat. I wrote it up and put it into a meal plan so it's easy to read, shop, and get. So these are the foods that I eat, yeah? And these are naturally high, and these are the tips that I'm going to give you. Have you got your pen and paper ready? Kaz does. I can see her ready. She's ready. I can see it. These are the things that I do. Okay. I want you to add seeds and grains to your salads and breakfasts. Really important to get a mix of chia, hemp, and flaxseed. Now, again, it's important to make sure that they are milled because otherwise they are going to come out the same way they went in. They're going to look exactly the same. They're going to pass straight through you and your body's not going to utilize them. Okay. So make sure you get them as they're ground up. They're called milled flax seeds, milled chia seeds, because then actually your body can make the most of the nutrients instead of it just passing straight through like sweet corn. Okay. We're going to add a tablespoon of almond butter to your oats or with your fruit. I like having some almonds with a handful of blueberries every day. That's a really nice snack. We're gonna focus on we're gonna add in another snack as well. So think about blending beans or chickpeas up, and what this creates is a hummus. Okay, so you can do it with chickpeas, or you can do it with beans, or you can even do it with lentils, cooked lentils, right? Hummus, although traditionally is chickpeas, you can mix them up. Right, I love to add roasted garlic to my hummus. I love to add roasted red pepper, chuck a bunch of paprika in there and make it like a smoky paprika flavor. Play around with flavors, but having a hummus made out of any legume or bean is really, really good, and it's going to just boost your protein intake. What we're looking for, right, is not just overloading on protein, it's just being mindful about tweaking those things. So if you're going to be mindful about having a snack, have a high protein snack. That's going to reduce your desire to go and eat more food or have another snack. It's going to keep you satiated. Having protein with a carbohydrate actually neutralizes that glycemic index, the spike. So it actually balances it out. It brings it down. So instead of having a spike, it gives you a longer lasting burst of energy. So it just kind of like almost like reels it in and slows it down. So make sure that you pair any carbohydrate with a protein. Yes, I'm telling you to eat more. And that's going to slow down that spike, keeping you more satiated for longer. Okay, so Make sure that we're having some hummus as a great homemade snack. I recommend making it at home. It is much cheaper. All you got to do is just blend all the ingredients, and once you get used to what you're throwing in there, it will just become second nature. And just playing around with flavors, because the store-bought ones often have a ton of oils. That's another talk for another day, oils. I like swapping around regular pasta. So I'm like a normal human being here. I like pasta. Yeah, we all like pasta. So I like to utilize that. And again, just be mindful. And I'm tweaking little things here and there. And I'll have a legume or bean pasta. Now, often you can find pea or edamame pasta, black bean pasta I've seen chickpea pasta, lentil pasta. If you look at the pasta section, you will find somewhere possibly even in the gluten-free area, a variant of that. So it'll be a bean or legume pasta. I love the chickpea and red lentil ones, and these can be found at most grocery stores nowadays. You can add cannelli beans, tofu, soy, or almond milk to smoothies. So just, again, being mindful about switching that around. And instead of like having coconut milk, have a higher protein milk. Again, it's about the little tweaks. If you have a little bit here and there throughout the day without interrupting everything that you do, you're going to get enough. You're going to get enough. So if you want, if it's your thing, why not have a protein shake between your meals? Now, this isn't a whole food. This is technically a processed food. If you're really concerned, if you're protein deficient, then do it. If you were here for last week, was it last week? The last week's live, I talk about supplements. I talk about not using them and using whole foods because I strongly believe in that. But if you really are struggling, then that is the perfect time to just say, okay, maybe I need a little bit of a boost. Maybe I need a little bit of a help. I'm just going to have a protein shake just to boost me up until I get my head around the nutrition side. So if you need it, then use it. But I'm not telling you here that it is necessary. Snack on high protein foods. So this is what I was mentioning earlier. Make sure all your snacks are high protein. Don't just have a banana. Have a banana and almonds. Don't just have an apple. Have apple and almond butter. Seem to be loving almonds today, right? Don't have a cereal bar or a chocolate bar. Have a high protein snack. Making like tofu nuggets, you can use the air fryer, just blitz them in the air fryer and make them nice and crispy. So just little tofu nuggets, you can warm those up. Falafel bites are fantastic. They're made out of chickpeas usually, so if you make them homemade, then great, but I don't have time to make falafel by myself, so I will go and buy some. Again, I'm realistic here, right? I just try and interject what I can buy and outsource into my diet. So you can use falafel bites. You can make some lentil fritters. They're easier than you think. Crispy air fried beans, or you can use the oven. If I say air fryer too much, just think about using the oven. I love chucking okay, so wash and drain beans, really pat them dry. Or one stupid thing that I bought that actually is brilliant is a salad spinner, right? This is how you know that you're old, because you get excited about a salad spinner. Yes, I got a salad spinner, and yes, I use it for practically everything that I want to pat dry because I'm lazy and it's fun, right? I'm lazy and fun. So anyway, I'll drain and wash my beans, then I'll chuck them in the salad spinner, give it a little whiz. I'll try and make sure I use it so I don't have to then wash it out for one thing, right? Anyway, so I'll do it with my chickpeas, with my beans, obviously with like spinach and lettuce and stuff like that. So I do use it for what it's supposed to be used for. So I really dry off the beans, spread them thinly on a parchment paper, or chuck loads of seasoning in a bowl and just chuck them over. You don't need oil. You don't need to cover it in oil or anything like that. And then spread them out on a sheet pan and then chuck it in the oven. How long for? You're probably going to ask me. I don't know. Keep checking until they're cooked, until they're dehydrated. Do it if you can at a lower temperature for longer, because that's going to really dehydrate them and make them crispier. If you're in a rush, you can use chickpeas as well, by the way. You can use any beans. If you're in a rush, then just do them on a high temperature and they're going to go really hard on the outside. Anyway, I've talked way too much about Air fried beans. Think about steamed edamame beans as well. These are great if you ever go to a Japanese restaurant, or any other style restaurants, like Thai restaurants. No, do they do them in Thai restaurants? I don't think so. I love steamed edamame. You can either get them in the shells or already shelled, which is so much easier. Steamed edamame, great little snack again. I want you to substitute meat in a regular recipe with tofu, tempeh, lentils, seitan if you want to make it. That's another story. Chickpeas, right? Again, like I said, instead of just removing the protein away from the dish, you need to replenish that protein and calories. That dish isn't going to be a complete whole meal, and you're probably going to walk away hungrier than when you started. So make sure you are substituting meat in these meals with whole food meat, okay? I'm not talking about going and getting a fake chicken breast or fake sausages or fake meats, right? I'm not talking about going and getting Beyond Burger. If you're at the point where you are desperate for something and you have no idea how to cook, get my 28-day meal plan that I mentioned, but also don't go and get all of those crappy fake meats, okay? While it's good for some people who really, really struggle, and we're just in that phase of transitioning, I get it, but we are here for optimum health, and you're not going to get that with plant-based fake meats. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and say I never use them. Occasionally, we might get something, but I would say for 98% of our diet, we are whole foods. That 2% includes the random fake meats that my partner will bring home and pizza, because I love pizza. I love pizza. I don't know if anyone saw, but I put a story up the other day of me and my partner having pizza. And yes, I eat pizza. Like, whoa, I told you I eat pasta as well, actually. There's the 2%. I eat pizza, but we will share a pizza and we will have a massive, guys, I'm talking like twice the size of my head, massive bowl of salad. So we'll get like the Italian salad, we'll get some little baby gem hearts, we'll chop it up, throw it all in a bowl, mix it up, maybe a couple of olives here and there. And then I'll just put a bit of balsamic vinegar on, and we will fill up on, or not fill up, but we will fill a big gap with this huge salad. And I'm talking about reducing the size left or the space left in my stomach for high levels of nutrients, vitamins and minerals, great food, but also so I can still eat the pizza and still get my nutrition, right? We also grilled up some sweet peppers, you know, the little long thin ones. We grilled up some sweet peppers. So we're still having the volume, we're still having our vegetables in a nice and delicious way, and I still get to eat my pizza. So if you've been with me any longer than a week, you'll notice that I add to my meals rather than take them away. So I add value to my meals to complement the foods that I'm having. Anyway, use beans as a sauce base. Oh, I wanted to use this because this is brilliant. I've been using beans a lot as a sauce base, and that provides a great boost of protein. So you can also use tofu. So this might sound rancid, especially if you are new to this space, or if you're like me, you'll be like, oh my God, that's fantastic. But I love using silken tofu or just soft tofu, either way, and throwing that in the blender with some additional seasoning and spices and blending it up to create a sauce base. I don't want you going and getting a shitty Domino sauce, like a bechamel sauce, when you can make it from tofu, right? You can literally blend it up, add some nutritional yeast, maybe add a tiny bit of salt, some flavors in there. What else would I add? Off the top of my head, I've never made a bechamel, but I'm just going for it, stab in the dark. So I'd probably use silken tofu, probably lots of nutritional yeast. I would do a squeeze of maybe lemon juice or apple cider vinegar. If you're making any kind of cheesy sauce, guys, nutritional yeast, tofu for the base, the nutritional yeast is going to add the cheesiness. But if you add a dash of apple cider vinegar, it is going to really elevate the cheesiness and create that cheesy flavor. It sounds crazy, but it works, right? The acidity does something and it really makes that cheesy flavor. So I would just blend that up and add it to your pasta or dishes and create a high protein sauce. Okay, so you've got a source of protein, but also your source is protein. Does that make sense? I'm only looking at you, Kaz. I'm waiting for a nod. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay. And then one of my top tips as well, don't forget veggies have protein. So add veggies like pak choy, spinach to your meals, and you should always be getting a quarter of your plate at least with green veggies. So can I think of any more off the top of my head? High protein snacks. Make sure you've got a source of protein at every meal. Guys, I told you I'm going all out. I'm trying to give you everything. Protein, protein, protein. Can I think of anything else? Got any tips for us? No? I'm trying to think of anything else. Really scraping my brain here, guys. Really, like if you're making a sauce, make it tofu based. Make it tofu based. It's going to boost that protein. And tofu is going to absorb any other flavor that you give it. With the 28-day meal plan, one of the bonuses is called Saucy Series. And I write down all my favorite sauces as well. They're not all tofu based, by the way. There's a really nice Asian one on there, which I pretty much rinse and repeat all the time. I think that's it. I think that's all I can think of. Be mindful of your beverages. And that's just with the plant-based milks. I think that's it, guys. That's pretty much all of my tips that I can give you off the top of my head. I've tried to rack my brain for more. If I can think about it, I'll let you know. But really, honestly, how to ensure that you're getting that varied diet. Plan, right? If you guys just go out on a whim every single day, you are guaranteed for it to flop, right? Even I, who have been doing this for many, many years, I've been plant-based. It is now literally my career. I still plan every single day. And that is what keeps me at the weight that I'm at, but it also keeps me, make sure that all my meals are varied. It makes sure that I'm getting all of the nutrients, all of my micro and macronutrients, right? And I know planning is super frustrating. I know it's time consuming. I know it's a ball ache. That is why the 28-day meal plan is perfect for you. Okay. That's why I created the 28-day meal plan for my clients, for people like yourselves that are watching this video. I know how stressful it is. So I want to take that stress away from you and give it to you as cheaply as I can. And that's £28. Guys, the price is going to go up. Don't know when, but it's going to go up soon. There's all of the additional bonuses in there, so get them before I remove the additional bonuses as part of the package. I really want you to utilize this, okay? Really want you to. Anyway, guys, that is Jesus, I said that I wouldn't make it long. It's been 50 minutes, for God's sake. Right, I'm going to need to make next week's really bloody... Oh, no, next week's with you, isn't it? I'm going to need to make the week after really short. Awesome, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I am here in the DMs. You are going to see this spectacular woman next week. Huh? Oh, you're on mute. Still can't hear you. You're going to have to unmute yourself.
I've done it, yeah. I'm not spectacular. I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. You're doing it. You're doing it. All right then, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for joining me personally. Sorry about the mix up there. That was hilarious. Great. I love it. I love to have someone here so it doesn't feel
it's nice. Yeah. Oh, thanks so much.
You're most welcome. I'm going to cut off live, but I'm going to keep you here for just one more minute. If you need anything, guys, reach out to me. I'm always in the DMs. Anyway, love you all. Take care, and I'll see you later.